What a world, you now listening to Talka Brothas podcast.
Welcome to the Talka Brothas podcast.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Talka Brothas podcast.
Talka Brothas.
Talka Brothas.
Talka Brothas podcast with Smash and Go D.
Go D and Smash, you guys doing your thing.
The mic is contacted, I attract clientele.
My brother.
Go D and Smash, Talka Brothas.
That's poppin'. We ain't worried about nothing.
Y'all are now listening to Talka Brothas podcast.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Go D.
And it's your boy Smash coming at you.
I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Talka Brothas podcast. Smash.
What it
How
do?
you feel, brother? How you feeling?
Man, feeling good, bro. Feeling good. It's a nice day outside. Gonna go get some sunshine after I get out of here.
That's good, man, because we got two hurricanes building into the Gulf simultaneously, bro. So we got some issues going on.
They turned into hurricanes now?
Well, one is going to be
tropical storms.
Yeah, they're tropical storms right now. One that's coming closer to us is going to probably be, a grade one, and then the one that's closer to the southeast is probably going to just end up being, some heavy rain. But,
Man,
you never know with the storms,
bad,
bro. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on around y'all way.
So what's been up with you, man? We got some good things to talk about here. We spent all night last night playing golf.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna speak of the results, but it was fun.
Then I woke up playing a little bit of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get through that Q school, and I gotta wait another year.
Already?
Already, man.
I ain't jumped on that one yet. I'm just playing a little couple of tournaments in there so I can.
Yeah, I think I need to do that too and leave that Q school alone for a minute. I'm sitting here playing. Speaking of video games, I'm sitting here playing Madden, man, and I hadn't talked to Moses just yet, and I'm like, man, this looked like Moses Jones on this game. So I texted him. I was like, Moses, is this you? He was like, yeah, bro, that's definitely me. I was like, man, we gotta get on the show and we gotta talk about this. And Moses has been on the show before, man. And if you don't know, his bio ranges from many things, from acting, producing. He's a really talented dude, man. He's been in Have Nots. He's been in There's No Word for Us, Night School, The Hate You Give. So he has a lot of credits in the game, and he's putting his work in, man. And when when you think, okay, what has Moses been up to? He just jumps out there and be like, surprise, here I am. But let's go and bring Moses in here, man. And what's up, dog?
Man, what's happening, man? How y'all doing this morning, man?
You got it, bro.
Man.
Good, bro.
Yeah, Corona got me looking a little grimy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. That's the norm now, bro. We don't even talk about it anymore.
Right.
When we see a brother's appearance, we just ready. Corona's on a hunt.
That's that Corona, right? You got I already know, bro. It's the Corona. That's it. Yeah.
How you been, man? How this time treating you, bro?
Man, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing time. It's been a little bit troubling, because the industry shut down like a week after the middle of the March. So I remember I had a project lined up. I was supposed to go to Savannah and shoot, and they called me and was like, yeah, man, SAG just halted everything. So from mid-March up until really about a week ago, everything in the industry was shut down, man. So we ain't have no way to get no work. You know what I mean?
Right. So
but it's coming back now. So
that's that time when you gotta have that sofa cushion money stashed away.
Man, it's real. It's real out here. And I'll be honest and say I was one of the ones in the beginning. I didn't necessarily take it serious. Like I think I was still, like you mentioned, I do a little bit of producing as well. And so I had produced a company video and a commercial for a client. And this was early April. And it wasn't until about mid-April where he was like, yo, I need another commercial. But this time I'm gonna need you to, actually give me some actors. Cause that time it was just like a couple people. This one, he would have needed a bigger production. And I don't remember what happened mid-April, but I was like, yo, I think this Corona thing kind of serious, man. I think this is a little serious. So that was when I put a hold on everything for me was mid-April. And then you're right. At that point, it's just like, all right, Savings, we're going to have to ride through for a minute.
Right. Don't worry about it. Smash was the same way, bro. Me and Smash, we did a show, and Smash and I, we debated whether this thing was real or not. And I took it from the day one. I was like, man, this is serious. And Smash was like, I don't know, bro. This might be like the flu. And probably like 3 episodes later, yeah, bro, this is definitely serious.
No, it took one of my colleagues I work with, man. I called him. One thing I don't know if we talked about last time. I do a lot of public speaking, right? And one of my mentors who's been setting me up on all these tours I've been doing public speaking, we were having a Zoom session, and then that's when he hit me. I told him I was still doing some things, and sometimes you need your friend to hit you and be like, hey, bro, this Corona thing is real, man. And I think that was my first time where I was like, all right, well, let me hear what you're saying. And from there, I'm like, all right, man, I guess I'll be more cautious.
Right. That sounds like Smash. That's exactly the same words he had.
Look, that's what he needed you, man. He needed you to be that light of reasoning.
At first it just seemed like a little hoax or something that they was trying to scare the world or whatever. But I've seen it. It's real, man. So I had to take it serious, and I mask up everywhere I go, sanitize, everything.
Yeah.
All right, man. So let's get away from this doom and gloom.
I know, right?
Let's get into some real. Bro, I'm sitting here, got the early release of Madden, right? Okay. I'm sitting here, and that's the mode that you're in. That's really the only reason why I play Madden is to just see the story mode, right?
Yeah. So
I'm playing this thing, and that picture right there, I was like, wait a minute. That looks like Moses.
Yeah.
And I paused the game, instantly texted you, like, yep, that's me. So I went to IMDb and was like, okay, so this is him. Okay, so how did that even came about?
Yeah, man. So I connected with a manager out in LA, I think midsummer last year, man. It's a creative artist, and they have just been working like night and day for me, man. It's been a good partnership. And so they set me up with this. And I remember I actually, when I got the audition for this, it was just listed as reporter, and I didn't know as much about the role. So I did it. I was actually on my speaking tour up in Indiana, so I couldn't go in person. And so when they hit me for the callback, I hit my manager. I'm like, yo, listen, man, I'm in Indiana. I can't come in. And we actually didn't think that they would do a Zoom audition. Most of the time when people are having in-person auditions, if they're having in-person, they're not really trying to do auditions where they then have to set up something virtual.
Right.
So, but I guess they were filling my initial audition. As soon as I got on, the director and casting director was like, yo, we loved your initial audition, man. It was a lot of what we were looking for. Did the audition right then, and they were like, yo, this is amazing, man. And then I got the script, and then that's when I got to set, that's when the director really let me know, like, yeah, this role is an intricate piece to the creative story mode, because you're really going with him as he travels through his career. And I was like, oh yeah, that's dope,
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
So how was that acting versus actual, being in front of the camera? How was it acting behind the camera? How was it different from your normal roles that you play?
Right. Well, I don't want it to get confused. What we call it in video games is called motion capture.
Right.
So it's still a bunch of cameras there, and you're still interacting as if you were doing a real scene on a real set. On a live set with everything you see. The only difference I would say is it's more important to make sure that you're enunciating, that you're really elongating your syllables, because they got to catch all that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as everything else, I mean, there's another actor. We're still feeding off each other's chemistry. I will say this, and I don't want to ruin it too much, but motion capture really is in this huge empty room, right? And so they just have a ton of tape everywhere. And so all those little lockers and everything you see, that's all added in after. So that was the big difference, because it's just like, I'm in an empty room pretending that I'm in lockers and I see 50 football players, but really it's just me and you and couple dudes right here who they're gonna recopy a bunch of times. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess that's a little different, you know. Yeah.
So in that empty room, what did you like, man? Am I getting out of here? What's going on in here?
Man, it was just, I tell you, that set has got to be one of the best sets I've been on, man. I mean, just everybody just had great attitudes, man. Nobody was a jerk. We didn't have any kind of jerkish moments from anybody. For that being my first time doing motion capture, everyone was real open to like, hey, let me help walk you through this. This is something you might need a little extra on when you're doing this. Like, it was just a really cool environment. It was just really cool, man. It was an amazing experience, really.
Right.
So when you were doing that, were they like, how were they doing it with the social distancing? Did they test y'all and all that stuff, or?
So this actually filmed December and January.
Oh.
So, yeah. So this was before anything.
Where it all went down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they were happy about that too, man. Because could you imagine if it did get pushed back? Mm-hmm. There's a part of me that think that game release might have been delayed. You know?
Yeah. And that's,
you think about doing that before.
And we do a sports show too. Shouts out to my boy Gio and Ballers Jr. We're gonna go in depth into what I like and I dislike about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so make sure you check that out.
Okay.
Shameless plug, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't got through the whole thing, so because right now we only get to play a certain amount of it.
Okay.
Because it's pre-release. So I'm trying to, stretch my little 10 hours out until the end. Right. But I hadn't really seen how the end and how your character actually plays into it. So I'm at the scene right now where you guys are sitting in a living room and the two characters are beefing with each other and you're trying to be the voice of reasoning between the two. Yeah. So that's where I'm at now. But man, I'm sitting here and I'm looking, I'm like, man, the whole industry is shut down. And I'm like, well, how are people having work? Mm-hmm. And I go to your page, bro. You're not shortage of work right now. You've got the Madden that just dropped, right? Mm-hmm. Credits in the book. You got the short that's coming out called Present. Mm-hmm. That's in post-production. So that's already in the bag, right? You got the After Party. Mm-hmm. That's in the bag. Now, the one that I'm really, really interested about, and I really want to touch on, is The Trouble with Going Somewhere. Yeah. That looks like a really dope story. So what's up with that?
Man, so that's one that actually got pushed back a little because the initial plan when we were supposed to be shooting that would have been this summer.
Right.
But that's a film that's produced by an indie group called The Art House. And the funny thing about that is that started off as a web series, 2013, 2014. And it's one of my favorite indie projects I've done because it was so relatable, especially when I did it. Like it's about these three guys that just graduated from college. And often I think a lot of people can relate to when you get out of college, there's this mentality or there's this thought process that once I graduate college, now that I got a degree, I'm going to be able to hit the ground running.
Right.
And for many of us, we find it's the complete opposite. It's like, yo, we did everything this society tells us we're supposed to do. We went and got the education. We did all the learning. We're here, ready to get a job. Why can't we get one? And so you find these three guys who are, like I said, a couple years removed from college. And then after struggling and not finding a job and bills piling up, and then now at this point, I'm mid-20s, having to go back, maybe live with my mom, all that's starting to affect the mental. And when things start to affect the mental, you start considering things that the normal mind might not. And that's, I think, where the story starts to really pick up. It's just like, you start asking yourself if they do something that's probably not what society would agree with. You start imagining like, well shoot, can I blame them right now? Almost like the protest is going on with everybody doing all the looting. You start saying, yeah, I mean, the looting's bad, but can you blame them? You know what I'm saying? So, but nevertheless, I'm excited for that. That's another project where I actually will have the lead role in that.
Yep.
But that one got pushed back. So I think everything. I'm not sure if we'll actually pick up and film on that in the fall. So we'll just have to see what happens, man.
Are you starting to do some jobs with filming? Because I know, like in California, they had started back filming, I think in June.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how it's going out there in Atlanta and everything.
Well, so what happened in Cali is mid-June, they passed the ordinance to start opening up production companies. But they weren't able to actually like really start filming because the Actors Union, SAG, they had to develop a huge protocol that all these production companies had to get on board with. Because at the end of the day, for our benefit, you know, we want to make sure that we're safe going on any set.
Right.
But from a production company's benefit, think about it. If they catch a case, that might be a lawsuit in the bag. You know what I'm saying? And so, so they had to make sure that they developed something that was airtight so that when both parties come back, both sides feel good about what's happening. And that took some time. I feel like that process just got completed maybe a week or two ago.
Right.
I am getting ready to go. The film I was talking about in March, called The Savannah Haunting. It's a horror film, or a horror sci-fi-ish film, but it's based on a true story.
Man, you gonna make me have to watch this, man. I don't do horror, Moses, man.
Wow, man, but it's good, man. That script is good, man. So, but they just called me the other day and was like, all right, we finally got our approval from SAG. Everything's good, so we'll start shooting here in September. And that'll be my first project back since Corona.
Okay.
But auditions are starting to come in. I got an audition. I probably got to do a little bit this later this evening. So they're starting to pick up again now.
Oh, wow.
Now I want to thank you, bro.
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank you because we've been debating since Snowfall ended.
Okay.
Right. And rest in peace to John Singleton. That I was like, man, I don't think this show was going to survive. And lo and behold, pieces stand to the rescue.
Oh man!
Season 4, episode 3, playing the rock sling, and I was like, "Yes, thank you." So we got a season 4 coming.
There's definitely a season 4.
Thank you, bro. You let the cat out the bag. So those who's waiting for Snowfall to come back, it's definitely coming back in 2020. So
yeah, man.
So what was it like working on that piece?
Man, it's that was cool, man. Just because, like you mentioned, man, John Singleton is a beast in the game, man, just a legend. And unfortunately, he had passed already by the time I had booked for the show and everything. But even still, just being able to be a part of something that he started, man, it was just like you could just see how much dedication that group takes to preserving the script and preserving the integrity of the show. Like I was listening to one of the showrunners and one of the writers. He's one of the showrunners and writers, and I heard him just talking about how they often get celebrities that are always like, yo, you know, I want to be on the show, whoop, this, that, and the third. But their thing, kind of like how I think her name Constance was with Power. They were like, if any celebrity comes on Power, you got to be able to do something that the normal public wouldn't see you in. So when we saw Kendrick Lamar on there, that was the whole thing about him. Like the public isn't going to expect to see you in this kind of role. Therefore, we could bring you on. And that's the same thing this producer was saying. He was like, a lot of these celebrities were wanting to get on the show, especially if you like really live that life, you know what I'm saying? A lot of those kind of celebrities felt kind of entitled to be able to come on, and he's just like, we don't do the celebrity thing. Like we don't bring people on just because they have a and that speaks so much to me. Like when you can preserve the integrity of a show and not sell out to a familiar face or name,
right?
That speaks. Now, granted, there are a lot of familiar faces and names that could do great wonders on a show. But I'm just saying it's great when a show doesn't just hear a big name and say, okay, book them, we'll find a role or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. You mentioned earlier, man, so one thing that I always like to clear up, man, so you'll look at a list of projects that one of us actors got coming out. Mm-hmm. But the big thing to always remember is when it comes out is not indicative of when we shot it. You know what I'm saying? For instance, I got the Have and the Have-Nots that I think I shot 2 years ago, I think, maybe a year ago. But nevertheless, I think from what I initially thought, that might have came out the same year whenever I shot it. Right. And it's just now getting ready to premiere in September, right? The first episode I'm in, the first episode I'm in is getting ready to appear here in September. When I was like, shoot, I thought this would have appeared last year or early this year. You know what I mean? And I can think of a few projects where I shot it and it might not come out till 2 years later. You know what I mean? Right. So some of those projects you listed made me think of that.
Yeah, you got. Go ahead, man.
No, I was like, that's crazy. I didn't think they came out that long, like after you shoot. Yeah. But, I did see you. I saw you in this commercial. Okay. I gotta say this because I've been going on with this, but the family was playing cornhole. Okay. That's just right there. And then at the end, they running, but at the end, who comes in with a plate of nuggets? My man Moses. I just saw that. I was like, dang. Yeah. I just had to bring that up because of cornhole. I'm always talking about cornhole on here.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. That's real.
I mean, you everywhere right now.
Yeah, man. I remember when we did the interview initially with you, and we talked about what roles that you would take and what roles that you wouldn't take. Mm-hmm. And one thing that stood out with me about you was that, you said, I'm definitely going to rely on my, stand up for my morals and things that I believe in. But other than that, if it's a role, I'm taking it. Commercial, shorts, movies, TV, the check got to cash,
Man, that's real, man. I tell people all the time, like I keep, so on the other side of the computer here, I have a studio. So like when people need auditions, they come and I tape them for auditions, right? Because that's where a lot of our auditions are, especially in the Southeast. But now with Corona, everything is about to move towards virtual or what we call sub-tape auditions. So I have a studio where I put people on tape. I haven't opened it back up yet still because I'm still leery on Corona. But I have that here. So I have a lot of my stuff on the wall so that when actors come in, one, that they feel like that they can receive the energy that I may give them as someone like, I've been blessed to work in the industry, right? Mm-hmm. With that being said, man, like I hear you guys talking, man, you guys are talking about a lot of my accomplishments and I'm thankful for everything. But the truth of the matter is I still feel like I'm so far at the bottom and at the beginning, and there's so much to learn. Like I got friends that are series regulars cashing that real good money. You know what I mean? I got friends that are series regulars on shows, and I'm learning so much from them. The last time I was on here, you asked me this phenomenal question. I'm like, I didn't think about that. I think you said, who was the most famous person I had in my phone? Who's most famous phone number I had in my phone? And at the time I was like, I don't know. I didn't really think about that. But one person that comes to my studio that I could talk a lot with is Lamont Rucker. Lamont, he's been in quite a few Tyler Perry things. He played in the last Why Did I Get Married? He's on Greenleaf. But he played Jill Scott's husband in Why Did I Get Married? Why Did I Get Married too? And just another guy that's Lamont's got movies everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And even some of the people from Madden, man, like it's a lot of people in Madden who were just really open to sharing information, dropping nuggets. Cooper Andrews, he's one of the coaches on Madden. I think he's a series regular on Walking Dead, which is like one of the #1 shows out for years. You know what I'm saying? We had Michael Beach there from Soul Food. And this isn't a spoiler alert because if you see any of the reports on Madden, that's out on Twitter, you'll see it. But eventually my character switches over to Michael Beach. And so if for people who don't know who Michael Beach is, Michael Beach, I love soul food. Michael Beach was the one that decided to, I think, bang the cousin on the rooftop.
Right.
So, but I mean, just another established guy in the industry, man, just super friendly. They had Ty Sheridan. Ty Sheridan just had a movie come out a year ago, Ready Player One, for all the gamers out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they just have all these people. I mean, dude from Terminator, Robert Patrick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, man, like all these people that are heavy in the game. And so for me, I hear this stuff and I'm like, I'm appreciative, but I'm not at a point where I can, I say this with an asterisk at the end, but I'm not at a point where I can really be choosy. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm going to stick up for what I want to do. And I've had some great opportunities come my way that I'm like, yo, that's not for me. Right. But as far as if I get a good script, that's my only thing. Like when I see a project, it doesn't matter the pay level right now. I just need to see the script. And if the script is well put together, hey, sign me up. Let me know when I can get started.
Right, because it all mushrooms. You know, you're doing a commercial here. You got your production company doing this, and so it all adds up at the end. Right. As long as that you're keeping busy. But you know, man, listen, we've been talking. I've known you since 2018, I believe it is.
I think so, yeah.
And it's coming, bro. And you know, we are our own worst critics. You know?
Right.
So
right.
We are our own worst critics, so we're always going to hold ourselves at a higher standard. But man, credits are rolling, bro. Whether you believe it or not, credits are rolling.
And already doing some big stuff, so
yeah. And for you to show your diversity, like with the Madden, I was like, man, I was blown away by that. I was like, man, okay, so he's, you know, he can do the voiceover thing and he can motion caption. He can do all. So it's you've done comedy. You know, you always will be piece of stand to me. Yeah. You know, no matter what. Yeah. But man, you're doing your thing, bro. So don't knock yourself like that.
That's real. That's real. And you know, it's funny. That's something my wife does a great job of reminding me. Cause like for me, when Snowfall came out, well, the normal me, if I'm in something, I may not be quick to post about it. You know what I'm saying? Just because I feel like there's this thing, like one thing that I feel like if you guys see Denzel Washington, and Denzel Washington is like, yeah, I got a new movie coming out next year, you're not gonna be like, oh, yay, Denzel. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, we expect that because you're an actor. Right. But for some reason, I think for a lot of people that's not in the industry, if they don't see you as the lead in a movie, or I would say the lead in the movie, there's this assumption that I must not be doing acting full time. I must have some 9-to-5 that I'm going to. And while that is a struggle for a lot of people. Right. But I remember one time I'm talking to my auntie, me and my wife was up there, and she fixed us a meal. She's like, so what are you doing? I'm telling her about my acting projects. And she's like, okay, and so what are you doing for work? I was like, oh yeah, no, there's this thing called where like you get in front of a camera and you like perform character, so it's called acting. And I think she was just blown away, like, no, I don't have, I'm blessed. I do think I'm blessed to not have to have another 9-to-5 right now. But my wife does a good job of reminding me, because my head would be down and I'm like, yeah, that was cool, that was small, I gotta keep pushing, man, I gotta keep pushing, what's next? I gotta keep pushing. And she does a good job of reminding me, like, no, hey, we should take a moment right now and celebrate where you're at.
Your accomplishment, right, man. Because big or small, there are accomplishments. Because there are a lot of the word starving actors that would love to have, you know, been in half of the things that are credited your way. Absolutely. So flipping towards the production side, man, and that's where, and I've watched you on YouTube and the different things that you produce, and that part of your creativity as a creative. Where is that currently? What do we have in store coming down the pipe?
If I could throw a shameless plug out right now. So a film that not only that I'm in right now, but I had actually the opportunity to help cast. It's called FAM, stands for Family Always Matters. It got accepted into the American Black Film Festival. This is a huge film festival, huge film festival. And because of, this is one of the benefits, I would say, of COVID happening. Normally this is at a secure location. You got to go buy a pass to go to. But because of COVID, the festival is online this year.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's free to register. So everybody can go to abff.com. You just register. And I'm throwing mine out because I want you guys to check out FAM. Definitely let us know what you think. But, go ahead and check out some of the other. It's some people, like you'll go and you'll be like, oh, that's such and such and such and such. It's a big festival. It's some nice projects on there. Yeah. But yeah, so we have a film. That's one of the projects from the other side of the camera that, like I said, I had the opportunity to cast, and just from amazing actors and producing team. The director, the producer, they had won an Emmy a few years ago for doing this short with Oprah. The director and writer, Anthony Williams, man, just created this phenomenal project. He's got other projects in the canon. So there's that aspect. One thing that I picked up during COVID is I'm really trying to improve my writing, right? And so I've been reading books on screenwriting, and that's what I'm hoping to do next, because I've been doing a lot of producing. I would say a lot of producing for other people's work. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think it's time for me. Outside of a couple of the projects I got on the wall, I had stepped away from producing my own work and really started helping producing and doing other people's work. So it's about time for me to come back and put some Moses things back up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, because you do some funny stuff, man. I'm still laughing at the clip with you and your homeboy.
Yeah,
man. So I'm glad, man, and I know you got a lot going on, man. I'm glad that we got something in the universe touch me. This Madden for us to reconnect, man, and get back to it. Smash, you got anything else for Moses?
Yeah, if you can, I think you said you had like an audition or something today.
Yeah.
Can you speak on it or?
So this one, I don't. It's the most that I can say is it's for a Christmas movie. This is a good time when we get a lot of those auditions. It's funny. It would be for a Christmas movie that would come out next Christmas, not Christmas. Just in general, it takes about a year probably from start to finish for a production, unless you're in what is it called in Love in the Time of Corona, the series that came out this weekend with the guy from Hamilton, Leslie Odom. I was listening to a podcast with her. She said they got greenlit for that project in May, filmed in June, July, and it's coming out today in August.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, man. She's like, I'm pretty sure this is the fastest production ever. And but granted, from the trailer, it definitely looks amazing. I think you'll be able to see, or at least for someone with a technical mind, I can see some things where it's just like, oh, because she said they didn't go inside any of the actors' houses. They shipped the camera and equipment to the actors' houses.
Really?
And the actors had to do a lot of the setup, and people were on the outside of their homes, maybe kind of directing them or whatever. And so outside, my point is saying that outside of a project like that, most projects take about a year before it can even touch marketing. You know what I mean? So
do you think? So that leads me to another question. Thanks, Moses. Yeah. Do you think stuff like that is going to be the norm now, where stuff that gets in pre-product and then gets to post-product really fast? Do you think that's because right now I'm more than sure there's a vacuum of shows, like we getting ready to September. September is the time when all the shows come out. So you think there's a lot of shows that's going to be rushed to market because of this situation?
I was telling somebody that the other day. Somebody asked me, like, when the industry comes back, do I think it'll be a lot of work? And I'm like, yeah, I think it'll be a lot of work. But the one thing I do fear is that for this first wave, you might see a lot of rush products, because everybody done threw all the projects they had in the canon to try and make up for the past 4 or 5 months. of not being able to produce. So everybody was pulling every show from 1992, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we just need to throw something. If you weren't Netflix, everybody else was like really or Disney. I mean, they hit one out of the park with Hamilton. That came over for a minute.
Yeah.
They got at least 30 watches from me alone.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right, because I was like, Hamilton, you heard of the phenomenon of Hamilton.
Right.
But I'm not a musical type of dude, right? My wife's not really a musical type of person either. So it was no rush for me to actually see it.
Yeah.
So I knew the phenomenon. But when they actually put it on TV for you to actually see, then I had to sit down and see what this is about.
Right.
And it's an Apple show. It's called, I can't remember the name of the daggone thing, Smash. We just talked about on the other pod. Where they go into depth about when they take the actors and they talk to the actors, and these random fans would read their letters that they written to them, and they get their reaction of how that impacted their lives away from that you didn't even notice was how the things that you created has impacted their lives or inspired them. So and he was one of the guys that was on that show. Okay. So you see, that made you curious too, to hear him, how much passion and how much struggle it took for him to make Hamilton. So you just for off a GP, the brother struggled so hard to get it for the world to see, that they didn't really think it would, this concept wouldn't work. It's for them to see it. You're like, okay, yeah, man, I gotta sit down and take it. Now it was a long watch.
I think it's long.
Yeah, it's a long watch. And it took me a while to get to used to the singing and I was like, okay, but you think about it, you would never think about Hamilton in that light. You know what I'm saying? The story, how he told the story and put it in hip hop. It was amazing, bro. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing concept, amazing creativity. I love the fact that he chose to use, for the most part, everyone but white people in a story that's about nothing but white people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that.
And I remember looking at a lot of the criticism about the story, because what it did is exactly what you said. Is it made you, if anything, dig a little deeper and figure out, who is this Alexander Hamilton guy, right?
Yep.
And when I listen to him, that's exactly what the project is meant for. It's made to make you have a feeling, and maybe go do your own research on what kind of guy he really was and whether you agree with everything he did and stuff. So, but the production itself, man, just A1, and especially with theater. If you don't watch theater a lot, theater is one of those things that it's really meant for the moment. Like, things are great in the moment. It's like if I tell you a really good joke right now, that may be good for the moment. It may not be good if I come back and say that same joke an hour later. It's like, yeah, we heard that, right? So, you know what I mean? And so theater can be a really catchy, it can be a really tough thing to get and bottle up for film. But they were smart because they filmed that show. I think they said they filmed it over the course of 3 shows. And then on top of that, they had 2 additional days when they did the close-ups. And so it kind of was filmed like. But if it was filmed just like a regular theater where all you see is the wide view the entire time, it might have been tough for a lot of people to digest that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
And I know we were talking a little bit earlier, just in this one, about the, everybody trying to go post-production real quick.
Yep.
One of the things I thought that was going to catch on with a lot of shows was that it's a show on, I think it's CBS, but All Rise. Mm-hmm. And they did their show. They actually did their show with all of them, like, filming, like, Zoom. It was kind of like Zoom.
Oh, okay.
That was a dope show. So I thought a lot of shows were going to try to do it like that. How you saying they got the equipment sent to them.
Yeah.
How you saying, and they had to film it, but it was in a Zoom mode, and it was very well put together. I thought that was
all right. gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
But to answer that question, I do think even though we're going back into filming, I do think you'll still see another wave, albeit maybe short, I don't know. But I do think you'll see another wave of shows like that. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, there was a ton of commercials that you can tell were Corona-based commercials. People got the mask on, or you can tell that they were filmed in a way like, oh, people aren't in the same room right now. Or it's a commercial where you could see that they're on Zoom or something. So we still got another, I would say, round of all the filming that people did for that stuff that's gonna come out, because they're not gonna wanna waste their money and not put it out.
Yeah.
And then I feel like we'll have that round of what I would call rushed content, where it's just like, yo, we gotta get some stuff out. Let's just get some stuff to pique interest. And so it may take some time for a lot of the shows that's coming out to draw to draw you in, because I think people are just rushing to get stuff out at this point. You know what I mean? So I do feel like it may be a little of that.
Right.
And like with the theaters right now, with them, being shut down, and AMC is reopening this weekend.
Right.
But with theaters shutting down, does that like affect your pay? You know what I'm saying?
So the big thing about the way residuals and pay work in general. Now, granted, I'm speaking from a level of someone who hasn't had the series regular or the lead in the movie yet.
Right.
So the way that our pay at my level works is I get paid for what's called my session, which is whatever it took for me to film what you see in the theater, right? So I don't get paid for the theatrical release, because that was considered my session. Where I start getting money is residuals. And residuals come from everything after the theater. Like, it amazes me to this day, I still get nice checks from Barbershop 3. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, and that was what, 2015, 2016?
Yeah.
And, still get, I'm like, wow, man, people was feeling that barbershop craze. You know what I'm saying? Because I got other shows that I feel like I don't get as much residuals from that were more recent. You know what I'm saying? So something about barbershop is hitting. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. This is great. You know what I'm saying? Just a moment to think.
Hey, man, we got to give you your flowers while you here, bro. So This is definitely good. Yeah, we're not going to hold you up much longer, man. Appreciate you coming through with the barbershop talk, bro. I appreciate it. I'm always a fan, man. You're always going to be pizza stand to me, regardless of what's going down. But Smash, any closing words, my brother?
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on again. Yeah, you almost like a guest host, so you welcome anytime. I hope you and your family are doing good, man, and much luck and success to you. So I appreciate you, man.
So with that being said, much love, and we out.